Guess who back in the house? Here's click clacking about. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful day. I feel like a Mortal Kombat character with this face mask on. Wear these everywhere we go, and it is so hard to breathe in these things. I have like three of them. So I am so excited. Um, I just watched episode 10, season 12 of Drag Race, and it's ironic because DragCon has moved online. It's digital, and so it starts tomorrow, 12 p.m., I think, Pacific Standard Time. And so this episode was as close as getting to kind of like the drag con experience that's possible. And so it's the makeover episode. And I say this all the time, but makeover episodes, sewing episodes, and the acting episodes are my favorites. And so one of my all-time favorite makeover episodes is season 5 when Jinx is paired with Daisy, and he has that iconic line, I killed Judy Garland. And that was also the season where Nebraska Thunderfuck was birthed into the world, who is in a thrall with Derek Barry. And so we really get to see who is the queen among queens for the makeover episode, because it is one thing to put yourself into drag, but it's another to put someone else who you do not know in drag for the first time. And so I just love this episode. And so unfortunately, Widow has been eliminated, and part of her, it's gonna be May. How are you? I hope that you're having a wonderful day. Thanks for coming on live. Um, so I don't know if you guys saw, but part of Widow's mirror message was Heidi, and it said something to the effect of, Heidi, I'm not leaving you a wig like the other girls, which was hilarious. Have you guys seen Heidi wearing someone else's wig? I haven't really seen that. Maybe I have to like go back and watch. Um, but it would be hilarious if we've like seen a wig like some of the early episodes, and then Heidi just like comes out in the runway with it. So I have to like go back through the episodes. But it was funny that she left that, and it seems as if Widow and Heidi had a great relationship. And I actually thought that Widow was going to be top 4 because she's such an incredible performer, but she really got into her head. And that's awful. So we know that we're at the top 6, and Gigi has had 3 wins. Sherry and Jaida with 2 wins. Heidi has 1 win, and and Jackie are 0-0. So this is a make or break episode where someone can rise to the top or someone could crash and burn. So I was super excited for this. There's no mini challenge because they have to really work on the maxi challenge, which are the makeovers. And the cool thing is that these are super fans, and so these individuals have all gone to DragCon. They religiously watch Drag Race, and it seems as if they've been to a lot of like meet and greets as well. And so they thought that they were going to a taping. I don't know how to get invited to a taping. What do I have to do to get invited to a taping? I went to RuPaul's talk show. I went to DragCon last year. I went to Work the World live. Well, actually, no, Work the World when it came to LA, and then Drag Race Live. What do I have to do to be considered a super fan? Let me know. Um, I'm a little on the cheap side, so they probably like you got to spend some coin to be a super fan. But I plan to support some of the queens tomorrow for Digital DragCon, so I will do that. I love pins, and I have pins from DragCon last year, as well as from Evie Oddly and Brooklyn Heights. So I loved Jada's pairing with all of the super fans with the drag mentors. Jada did a really good job, like really matching personalities and or like aesthetics or body type. So there were some really good pairings there. So I really love that. So I just want to talk about some of my favorite moments in the workroom between the super fans and the drag mentors. And so one, Jada really stood out for this episode because she had some great moments. I loved when Jada told Jazz, her drag daughter, that if we don't win this challenge, you cannot come home. Every drag kid, gay kid needs to hear that from their drag mother. Like, if we don't win this cash money, you gotta walk the streets all night long. That was hilarious. Um, Jada has had some iconic sound bites for this season. So I loved it. Okay, so Janet, who was paired with Sherry Pie, she officially changed her name to Janet the Planet so she wouldn't take her seriously. I want to know what type of job she has that she can get away with that. But I'm not saying that's not to be shady. I love that. Um, you have to have a lot of confidence to change your name like that. But she's 6 foot even, and she said that she's dealt with a lot of harassment and negativity because of her size and her build. A lot of and she's a bio woman, and a lot of people actually used to ask her if she was a man. So I can't imagine what that would do to someone to constantly hear that. But she embraced it, and I really think that she does drag every single day because she has a drag name, Janet the Planet, and she really wears her confidence as her armor. So I love that. Um, that was just like so incredible to learn about her. I also loved Jackie's daughter and her level of confidence. That's the type of confidence I wish I could wake up every single day during coronavirus pandemic. It is a struggle for me to get out of bed every day, but I love her. I love her drag name, Lil Snacky Cox. That is hilarious. I loved her level of voguing and dramatics. She could win women's performance in dramatics. Like, she did a full split. She was duck walking, she was giving hands. I loved everything about her. And next year in DragCon, 2021, I will be looking for little snacky Cox because the House of Cox will be in full effect at DragCon 2021. Just like the House of Aja, the House of Cox will rise and take over the world. I love. Okay, so every single episode, Rue has given Heidi a brand new name. So we had Heidi Insiki, we had Heidi Hydrates. I can't even think of the other ones, but now we have Heidi Aphrodite. So, okay, I'm going to go on record and say I actually love Heidi in Closet because it's punny, it's funny as well, and so I do like Heidi Aphrodite. Um, but it's not as playful as Heidi in Closet. Um, but it's such a fun moment, and every time Rue and Heidi interact, it's always hilarious. And when Heidi's drag daughter said that her and her husband came up with uh, the mantra "drag brings joy," and Heidi said like I'm gonna use that, and her drag daughter was like, give me credit, and she was like, Heidi was looking at Ruth and like, I always give credit to people when they like give me jewels and gems. That was hilarious. And I loved, okay, so Crystal and her drag daughter, which I can't remember her, oh, Opal Methyd, they were one in the same. They were the same person. It was so like uncanny that these complete strangers, they were their brother and sister, sister and sister. I love the awkwardness between them, the nerdiness between them, and I loved Opal and her Wonder Woman pose as a way to relax and be mindful and to be centered. And she donated that to Crystal. So Crystal told her whenever she gets anxious, she's going to do that. Just how perfect. And it was so perfect. Their makeover look together, which I'll talk about later. But that was brilliant. And it was so shady, but so hilarious that Jackie Cox told Rue that she was going to do a disco look after Heidi had already said that she was going to do a disco look. And the hilarious thing is that the two groups that the two groups that did disco looks ended up being in the bottom, which is hilarious. I think Silky and Soju did disco looks last season, and I think Silky had to lip sync that particular episode. And going forward, people should know, do a disco look and you will be in the bottom. Like disco is over. You have to be smart like Gigi. Gigi stated that when she was given the list of outfits she needed to prepare for the show, that she worked with her mother and a designer to create the looks. So how crazy! What if she would have gotten like someone who was bigger? I wonder if she could have like adjusted the coat, or maybe she could have just left it open. But that was such a risk to create the look beforehand, but it paid off for Gigi in the end. And I loved that the daughters, in order to complete the full drag race fantasy, that they had to lip sync against each other, and they were freaking out about it. And Jada's daughter, does not walk in heels, so I was super worried for her because I've never worn heels in my life, but from what I hear, it's very painful for you to one wear heels. Probably she hasn't worn heels in years, to wear heels and then have to lip sync on national television against someone else. That was insane, but also I couldn't wait to the end of the episode to see it. So that was exciting. And so we move over into day two of actually getting the drag daughters in drag ready for the main stage. And Crystal, who for some, I don't know if you guys follow Crystal on Instagram, but she is the only queen that she doesn't post her outfits from the show after the episodes have aired. She's the only one that doesn't do that, which is I find kind of like interesting. But she'll post um, like snippets from her show in her hometown get dusted, and I actually can't wait to watch her in this get dusted space. But she actually lets us know that there was actually no place in her hometown for her to perform in, and so she created a space in a straight bar, get dusted, to actually perform herself and invite other talent to perform with her. I love that, to create something from nothing as a vehicle for you to really promote yourself, but also promote others. And it's kind of like even more special because Widow was the first person to actually, I think Widow was the first person to get her a gig out of town. Um, so that it was just like beautiful hearing that in this episode. And I can't wait. After coronavirus, I can't wait to see all of them really perform, because really it's a group of individuals this particular season. And I loved when Jackie told everyone in the group to look at her daughter, and she did the full on split. And Jaida um, says, "Now you, Jackie, you do it." Okay, so I'm just gonna call it that. I want Jaida to win. She is one, beautiful, two, has really risen to the occasion and gotten out of her kind of like comfort zone, and has really had great moments on the show. So we're top six. I really hope that she gets to top four, but I have a feeling that she's going to do it, because she's such a strong competitor. And at this time, the strong competitors, they make it to top four. There's never been someone who's like won like two or three challenges and they have been let go at this point. So it's a shoe in for her. So I was really excited, just to see all like what everyone has done. But then there's this interesting moment where we see Crystal putting Opal in drag, and she's all yellow. And for some reason, like when Crystal is kind of like getting in drag, there's this feeling that I get, like, oh my gosh, like what is she doing? Like it's like a feeling of uncomfortableness and just not being unsure, because I love Crystal and I want her to like do well, but it's like, what is she doing? Um, but it was so rewarding to see Opal on the main stage. So before we go there, I just want to say that Rue looked so good. So I really love kind of like what Raven is doing with her makeup, but the new hair person, like I think 2 seasons ago, um, Delta Work was fired from doing her hair. And so whoever this new hair person is, I'm loving um, they're working together. But I think Zaldi, her kind of like designer, created the gown that she was wearing. So it looked like it was kind of like millions of sequins and rhinestones um, glued to the gown, and it just looked so beautiful, but it also looked lightweight. I couldn't really tell if it was kind of like the material um, just had some type of um, like iridescent effect to it, because it looked weightless, because there was so much movement at the bottom, and so I really couldn't tell. Like there definitely can't be material that looks like that. So maybe it's like a lightweight. Oh, what are they called? Pirettes. I think those are what they're called. Oh, paillettes. Paillettes. Maybe they were kind of like paillettes that were 3D, but it was incredible, whatever it was. So we get to the main stage, and the person that we do not speak of really wowed me. So Janet the Planet became Terra Misu, and they were like 1950s inspired waitresses at like a IHOP type space Hollywood. And Terra Masu looked incredible. Actually, I was trying to remember. I was like, what did Janet look like? And I could not remember. But she had the greatest transformation out of everyone. I loved their kind of like the routine that they did together. They had the notepads to take orders. Her hair looked incredible. It was such a great fashion moment on the stage. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like Sherry might win this. And so they're actually my favorites. But I would say that Gigi and her daughter, BB Bad, they looked very chic. And I love that they were kind of like complete opposites of each other. And so it was very safe for Gigi. And I think this was a moment where Gigi, um, she needed something else to kind of like create that wow moment. And I wish she would have kind of like added something from the fabric wall because it would have put them over the top. So, who I kind of like loved from head to toe and also kind of like complete attitude change was Jazz Essence Hall, Jada's daughter. She beat her face and she went from like soccer mom to hot pageant. She was like Miss Continental. She looked so good, and even her level of she was actually embodying Jazz. And I love the routine where when they came out on stage, she forced her to kind of like stand up, and that posture didn't relax after that at all. So, and I love that Jaida made their outfits. And it was kind of like a brown cow stunning moment where the material I think is giraffe, but um, I think it's giraffe. I think it was giraffe, but it looked they looked so good in their outfits. They really looked like sisters, and it's so cool that Jada is black and Jazz is white, but we had a family resemblance. So Jada was so smart to pair herself with Jazz because it was the best transformation. So Crystal and Opal did a Bert and Ernie type transformation, and it was so good. Like we were getting quintessential Crystal. We were getting the get dusted experience, which makes me want to see it even more. Um, like post show, Crystal is going to be a makeup beast. um, just her skill and artistry is just on a different level. And she's probably going to get a ton of like makeup contracts after coronavirus pandemic is over. But she's so good with a paintbrush. I'm really. Oh, and also, I don't know if you guys know this, but Crystal has a great YouTube channel, so please subscribe to her. And um, my least favorite looks were Heidi and Jackie and their disco looks. They weren't that exciting. Like, I guess disco is kind of like easy to go into. I can't remember. I can't remember if Heidi said that she can't sew. She actually did say at the end of the episode, she said that she can sew. And so I can't believe that she wouldn't want to create something for her drag daughter because there was no resemblance. They had on different wigs, very different outfits. It just compared to everyone else, it just didn't look good. And the same thing for Jackie. They had a similar theme. They had the same wigs, um, but they needed a little bit more to wow the judges. And I don't know if Jackie sews or makes her own costumes, but I'm pretty sure that she could have found something to kind of like zhuzh up because Little Snacky just looked naked on the runway. So she could have like zhuzhed up her look a little bit more to give it a little more wow. So we learn that uh, the queens who are safe are Gigi, Crystal, and Sherry. And Jaida wins the challenge, which I was so excited. So that means that Jaida is tied with Gigi for 3 wins, and Sherry and Sherry is just 2 wins herself, and Heidi has 1. So we know that Jackie and Heidi Aphrodite are in the bottom. And so I was really nervous because I really like both of them for different reasons. Like, I love Jackie's aesthetic and I just love Heidi's personality. And so the song is Kill the Likes by Alex Newell. And so this is probably the third lip sync song that has been a male. Alex Newell is from Glee and is in the or was on the Broadway show. Oh gosh, I can't even think of what it is right now, but was on Broadway right now and is kind of like a actor and musician, and is someone who is very gender fluid. I've never heard this song "Kill the Lights," but I will check out. I assume it's from an album, but I will check it out. And so I knew I was afraid for Heidi because Jackie comes from a very comedic type of performance style, and Heidi um, does a more dramatic performance. I was pleasantly surprised because this is the first time during this season that I had no idea how Rue was going to decide on the lip sync because both of the performances were strong. Jackie really creates a clear narrative of her character. It's this cuckoo, crazy person in love with this other person. But Heidi used, she had this really cool like jumpsuit with these long sleeves, but she was using the garment to add another layer of drama to her performance style. And I love when queens do that, especially kind of like Jackie last episode. She used her garment to sell the story, and it was such a flawless performance. Both of them really wowed me. And after the song, I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't know what Rue is going to do because they were both strong performances. So there's like a dramatic pause, and then Rue says, Heidi, you stay. And I was excited for Heidi, but also sad for Jackie because she did so well. And then Rue says, Jackie, you gave us like a magical Merkin moment, which was hilarious. I laughed. And then Rue says, but your time isn't up and you get to stay. So everyone stays during this episode. So it definitely was a drag con moment. And the same thing happened for the drag daughters when they performed, that all of them were able to stay, even though like Lil Snacky won that lip sync. Lil Snacky was incredible. Um, but this was such like a great episode, especially now during the pandemic where we need entertainment in lighter moments. And so it was lighthearted, emotional, but so exciting that all of the drag kids can go home with their mommies because no one was eliminated this episode. So that was just wonderful. I'm curious if any of you guys are watching our Secret Celebrity Drag Race. Uh, I watched the first 3 minutes of it, and I think that the individuals on tonight's episode, that should have been the premiere episode. But I'm curious what you guys think. What did you think of the lip sync between Heidi and Jackie? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Who do you think look wise had the better drag transformation? Who do you think had the best resemblance and looked like a drag family? And I hope that you guys are being safe wherever you are. I know I'm eating tons of fruit. My desk is like covered with fruit right now. I'm eating a lot of fruit. I'm wearing masks everywhere I go. Um, I'm drinking lots of water, taking my vitamins, and I hope you guys are doing the same. I also have like a bag of carrots here as well. Doing a lot of fruits and vegetables. Just trying to stay healthy as possible, and doing a lot of writing to stay sane. And after this video, I'm probably going to go on a walk just to work out. And so, thank you guys for watching this video, everyone that watched this live, and everyone who will watch it after it's uploaded on YouTube. And I'm interested if you guys are going to like tune in for Digital Drag Con tomorrow. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Please like, share this video, and if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button so you can see my videos when they go live. And I'm trying to hit 7,000, so let your friends know to subscribe to my channel as well. So have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon. Besos.